What's going on? Happy Sunday, you guys. Listen, when I tell you, your boy is hyped today for this here show, right? We got a great show in fall ready for you guys today. We're talking about double standards. But before we get to all that, let me thug fizzle. Hold tight. All right, you guys be back in the building. I know if you're like me and Kevin, I love my intro. I love the way
I love it, bro.
You did a good job.
We rocking. Y'all moving like okay, maybe I need to
just gets me hyped.
I don't know what's going on. All right, so welcome to another taping of the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast live stream. This is my group panel that I do every single Sunday. So if you're in here, whether you're at YouTube, Periscope, or Facebook, or the Knucklehead Chronicles fan page, make sure that you check the broadcast out. Make sure you tap the emojis and all of that stuff if we're saying something that makes some sense, because this is what's going to happen today. I can feel this happening in my spirit, deep down in my condo. Somebody up in here is going to be dropping some major nuggets, and every time my nugget is dropped, you're going to hear the bomb drop. Okay? So make sure you tell everybody that they can also call in as well. All right. So we have some amazing guests, but of course the gang is here. Me, the Guru, and also Kev, the Great. Mr. Goodson is on his way. He ain't here yet, but he can. I'm sure he's coming.
He on the way.
All right.
I need him to baptize and bless this right here today.
It's going to be, it might not be that bad. But follow the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast.com, where you can go and get all of your Knucklehead Chronicles information, show episodes, merch, email list, the whole 9 yards. Knucklehead Chronicles podcast.com. I know it's long, but just like a pimp named Slick Back, you got to do the whole thing. All right? You got to do the whole thing. All right. So there's a call-in line tonight. So if you're watching on any platform and you want to call and you want to hear these wonderful guests, get down. It's 657-390-2503 is the call-in line. I love to hear from you. So let me introduce. What's up?
Can I before the introduction? Can I get these ladies? If y'all haven't shared, can y'all share like with me? Can I get a share with y'all with of the podcast? I want y'all's people's to hit with my people's.
I want your cousin third removed. That's what I want. And I got all right. And one more guest on here. All right. So the gang's all here. Oh, you got me, the Guru.
That's what I'm talking about.
Great, and you got Mr. Goodson down at the bottom there in his whole green screen.
Hey, look.
Introduced to you, as much as I know from my left, right, Miss Candice Walker out of Texas, C-Walk, what they call it. I don't know if she crip walks and nothing like that, but they call it C-Walk. So, because I guess Candice Walker, C-Walk, this makes it easy. But anyhow, she is from the MILF Uncensored podcast. Is it MILF or MILFs with an S?
With the S.
It's an S. So it's MILFs Uncensored podcast. Listen to me. If you have not Go to Apple Podcasts right now. Go to Google. Go to Spotify. Wherever you need to go, and subscribe right this minute to the MILFs Uncensored podcast. Those ladies are off the hook, and then some. I'm telling you. Next to Miss Candice, I have my friend who I've been following for years. We've been friends for years, and she don't even know. She's like, "How long have we been friends? 5 years." Marci Batiste, Texas as well. She is the #1 power coach, life coach down there, man. Listen, she's doing major things. Got a couple of books. Got a play going on. I'm telling you, hey, I don't fool with Ricky, who the Poops do. I roll with people. I roll with people. Then right below me, I have Miss Ashley, who I
roll with people. I see what you did there.
There's like Miss Ashley down below me. I just met her just the other day, along with Kevin Peoples. Though I've got an interesting story I'm hearing. And right beside Kevin, we're gonna skip over because we're on the Brady Bunch. Looks like now. Miss Annette Rausch. Now Annette is family. She's family. That's my she's family, and I can tell you. Hold on to your hats. It's going to get interesting here in a little bit, but that's Annette. And then there's the guy at the bottom. You guys know Dwayne Goodson, who was part of the podcast every day.
Boy.
This, you know what?
Hey, look, I got the camera like this on purpose, bro.
I know it's all good.
My baby ain't camera ready, and she ain't being cooperative right now.
But they are so cute, though. They are so cute. Nappy headed or not, there was some cute kids. You can't be. Yeah, she's cranky. He said that though. He texted me a little while ago and like, she's cranky, man. But what's coming? So what I want to do is let the ladies say, even though I gave a little introduction, but I want them to do a little comment before we get started into our topic today. So we're going to start with Miss Annette because she was last. Miss Annette, a little something. Say hey to the camera. Say hey to the people. Or not. I mean,
40 years. I got a daughter that's 11. That's beautiful. I mean, it depends on the day and how I feel. So, I mean, I could feel old or young, but I'm not a life coach. I'm just an ordinary woman that's very opinionated about it, and I'm from Illinois.
Very opinionated, but
I felt that opinionated. It felt like she trying to target me for a second there. I felt that.
She's not gonna target you, bro. But she's gonna be in you though. So be ready. I'm just saying. I told you yesterday. Miss Ashley.
Yeah. I'm gonna turn my screen green for this. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, just for you, Ashley.
All right. My name is Ashley. I am 34 years old. I am a single mother of 3. I own 2 businesses, and I'm a former corrections officer.
You know what? I knew that.
See them people. 12.
I didn't know that.
I'm glad that's my fiance's girl. Yeah, I got connected.
You know who to call when trouble break out, and it ain't Ghostbusters.
Yes,
Miss Marci.
Yes, I've known Jen a long, long time. Jen and I.
Oh, what happened to my camera? Did it go away? Oh, there it is. Okay, all right. Miss Marci.
Marci Batiste, Ultimate Power Coach, life coach, author, motivational speaker, kind of Jane of all trades, but I'm focused on helping people get their mind and their money right. So let's go. And I'm excited about this topic. Like, so excited. Y'all have no idea.
Yeah, we all into it. Miss Candice?
Hi, I'm Candice, a.k.a. C-Walk from MILFs Uncensored podcast. I'm a single mother of 4. And I'm Texas.
Let's do it. And Miss Tonetta down at the bottom. Let's see. Miss Tonetta, can you hear me? Nothing. Okay. She's back over there. It's all right. So if Miss Tonetta, if she can hear me, I would love for her to call in. I think that's probably going to work better for her. So we're going to jump right into it. We're talking about double standards today. Kevin, sir, you have the floor. Go for it, brother.
I'm so glad I got this right here. Yes, y'all can see my light flashing in the back. That's for me. But I'm going to turn it back. I ain't going to do y'all like that. But today, I want to talk about double standards. And there goes that gorgeous baby. I love her so much.
There she is.
She's so adorable, ain't she? But today, I want to jump on some double standards. And this could go quite a few ways. You know, I don't want this to turn into a man versus woman deal. I want to dive straight in, and I heard some opinionated people are in here. I want your truth, your opinion, how you feel. So, can I start off? Let's see. I want to go with the most opinionated. That I heard her say opinionated, and that just appeals to me, Miss Annette.
Uh-oh.
Can I get your feelings on double standards at this moment?
My feelings on double standards. I think they're a bunch of crap. I really do. I know that it happens. I know that they're always out there, but I don't care. No, I don't, because I don't think, I see it this way. If you're going to have a double standard, it's what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So if you're going to do it, don't be mad when I do it. You know, that's a double standard. Don't do it. Don't. If you want it to be fair, then don't do it.
Yeah. It's all fun and games.
I don't think it's right. I think that everybody should be accountable equally. I don't care if you're here. Yes. Right. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. If you did wrong, then you did wrong. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't matter what sector.
Mm-hmm.
I got a question.
That's just my opinion.
I got a question right there. Okay. Here's my question. My question is, what is, I'm going to ask the panel this, the worst double standard that you come into contact with? Like, what really sticks in your craw when it comes to a double standard? I'm gonna start with Mark.
Wait. Hold up. Before you do that, let me throw that paper away. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
I'm gonna start with Marci, because I think Marci's been talking about the bit. So, what is the worst double standard? This gives up under your craw. This gives you dirty. What is it?
I think Miss Betty Wright said it best when she said, "Girls can't do what guys do and still be a lady." So when I pull a you on you, as Miss Annette said, all of a sudden now it's a problem. But when you was running game, it's a game until I start playing too. And so I think that's what really gets me off, where I'm just like, yeah, no, we can play the game, but I'm probably gonna be more like the coach.
Yeah.
Well, let me shake it up just a hair, right?
Dwayne, hold on one second. Dwayne, hold on one second. I got a caller. I want to bring him. I got a caller. Let me see if I can get him on the phone. Who I got on the line? Hello? Who do I got?
Come on, little Tink Tink.
Who on the line?
Who on this line? Let's go.
What's going on?
My name, Lil Daryl. And my daddy over there.
Okay. It looks like it might work.
You got the milk.
Go ahead, Dwayne.
He wants some milk.
No, my like with everything, because I think to have a conversation about anything, you got to agree on terminology. So, not that I disagree with anything that was said so far. I just want to give a little perspective. What standard are we talking about? Have we defined standards, or are we just my understanding versus your understanding versus everybody else's understanding? Because you're going to get different answers.
Okay. I got something for you on that. I'm glad you brought that up, because I got one large example.
And come back in.
Janetta, call back in, honey.
I guess I got something overall, and I'm gonna start with Ashley right quick. Because here we go. No, I'm not calling her out. Here's my thing. Here's my thing. All right. Double standards are terrible for society. It actually divides us, right? Mm-hmm. My opinion. Okay.
Definitely.
So as far as an example, all right, we have two examples. We got the WNBA, right? Mm-hmm. The women wanting to get paid somewhat of what the NBA is getting paid. The WNBA and the NBA, but they don't even get an 1/8 or a 16th of that profit, right?
Right.
Yeah. Here we go with. We also had our first female kicker yesterday. Made history. All right. And there's this whole big issue. I don't know why. To me, I feel like if she can do it, she can do it. She can kick, she can kick.
That's right.
But here we go with the women power right behind her. Yeah, let's get more women into football. Now, what do you feel? We're going to start with the WNBA. Do you think the WNBA deserves to get paid like NBA players?
Absolutely.
And that double standard. Okay, go ahead. And I have an answer for it, but I want your take on it.
I think absolutely. If you can make a free throw from the same place I can make a free throw, you should get the same money I'm getting.
Okay.
I think that at the same time though, you got to look at, do we train the same? Do we put in the same work? If the answer is yes, which I believe in the WNBA's case is most likely yes, then yes, you should get the same amount of money.
Dwayne, you want to rebuttal?
Now, I was just going to say that, but because here's the only thing that matters with me. Well, not even the only thing that matters, but the difference. The difference is how much money you're bringing in. And I think, because you're absolutely right. They do have the same work ethic, and the stars that shine in the WNBA, I'm pretty sure when it comes to their work ethic, it's the same as the top tier in the NBA. The difference is the Dallas Cowboys or the Golden State Warriors or the LA Lakers, they're bringing in hundreds of millions of dollars a year, which gives them the ability to pay that. Now, all things equal, then I completely agree with you. But I say in this case, it's not really a double standard. It's more supply and demand.
Oh, I agree with that. Also, with that supply and demand becomes, like you said, the financial gain off of those stars. So if the WNBA had a little bit more focus, a little bit more bringing into the viewing crowds, then I think they could definitely afford to pay the same. Now, that being said, though, WNBA is not broadcast on the same level as NBA, so maybe they need to level out the playing field and make it a little more fair.
Glad you brought that up. So, and I like that question. If we can flash Ashley Bowden's title up there, her question, what she said on Facebook. I like that, and we can if we want to throw soccer into this, we can.
And there's
my
argument.
answer to this.
There's the argument. That's when the fight started, right there.
That's my real sister.
And see, I want to get to Miss Seawalk too. You're not left out of this either, right? So here's my deal for that though. All right, kind of like what my boy Dwayne said. There's got a supply and demand. Now Kobe Bryant was putting his time in with the WNBA to get them. He was putting in the word. All right, but here we go, ladies. At the same time, you're not getting these females that can dunk like LeBron or dunk like Kobe and Jordan was from the free throw line. You're not getting that type of excitement. So if you can't, I've seen a lot of comments on this too. Women should be getting paid the same in the WNBA that the NBA does. No. One, the supply and demand. Your jerseys are not selling. Two, you're not selling out arenas. Even in the championship, you're not selling out arenas. Here at the Spurs Stadium, they're not selling out. So my question is, when does reality strike for this type of double standard? Because it is a double standard, whether we like it or not. Mm-hmm. So when does reality strike? I'm gonna go Miss Seawalk right there. Yeah, come on, Miss Seawalk.
If women like sports as much as men did, then maybe it will pop more. But I'm just gonna be honest, I'm not that interested in watch. Like if I want to watch a sport, I want to watch a man sweat, and I don't want to watch no woman. So I mean, they not.
You need to drop a clue bomb right there, Terry.
Yeah, they not popping like men would, because women, they gonna want to watch me and they ain't gonna want to watch women. But if it's my daughter, then yeah, I'm gonna watch her rather than a man. So yeah. You ain't got as much people watching them. I mean, y'all should. The men should be wanting to watch them, though. I mean, y'all want to see women sweat.
Now, if we're gonna go there, yeah, because I also have, I got a homie that plays. She plays quarterback for the Austin Acoustics, and she's a baller. I mean, when I say she plays like Michael Vick, she plays like Michael Vick. Shout out to my girl. But what it boils down to,
in the building, what's up, girl?
Yeah. So what it boils down to, and I forgot. I'm sorry. In the my top right corner, I forgot her name. Life coach.
Marci.
Yes, Margaret. Marci. There we go. I'm so sorry. You can throw something at me when you see me. I promise you, I won't throw it back. For messing up your name, but
yeah, Miguel.
But what is your take on this whole scenario as well? I want to see. Give me your honest opinion on how this should play out, and whether we can have a level playing field. That's what I want.
I think if you're going to talk about leveling the playing field, the only way to truly level it out is to base the pay off a percentage of revenue. And so I think essentially that's what the argument is now, is that the WNBA isn't generating the same level of revenue that the NBA generates. Although the work ethic is the same, all things being equal, you can go buy Shaq shoes, you can go buy Jordans. You're going to pay a different price depending on what you're getting, right? So I'm not saying that the WNBA works less, but they're not pulling in the revenue. And the only way to say that the playing field is level is to say that the men get X percentage, and as a woman, as a player, you get X percentage, and you're looking at the revenue, and it becomes a strictly numbers game. It's not about gender anymore. It's not about ethics. It's a numbers game.
Right. So, go ahead, Annette.
Go ahead. What you got?
Well,
okay.
while she,
I missed the question.
No, go ahead. Oh no, we was just jumping in, but hold on, little mom. Let me real quick. Let me just go back to my initial statement about being on the same page when it comes to verbiage. Since we're talking basketball, the standard is basketball, right? So is there a double standard in basketball? I don't think so. Like, and no disrespect, like Candice Parker was mentioned, Brittany Griner was mentioned, and you could talk about the Sue Birds and several other people, right? But here's the reality: basketball being the standard, then there's no double standard. It's just a natural fact that LeBron James, you take anybody in the NBA, it's probably going to beat the average person or the elite version of the WNBA, and that's not a double standard. It is what it is type deal, right?
Right.
Now, somebody made mention of the U.S. soccer team. Now, that one I agree with whoever made the comment, because at the end of the day, the standard is soccer. The women's U.S. soccer team is absolutely mind-blowingly amazing. That's right, little mama. And the men are garbage. And men are garbage, and they getting paid more. That's foul. It's messed up. It ought not be. And here's why I say: in the Army,
I love it.
When I was in the Army, if I was a sergeant and a female was a sergeant, guess what we got paid? The same thing.
Same thing.
If she got promoted and she was a staff sergeant and I was a sergeant, she got paid more than me. So since we're talking about a U.S. team and the standard being soccer, one's performing, one's not. There's no way in the world that the men could be making more women than the U.S. soccer team. Those women deserve to be on everybody's cereal boxes. The men don't even deserve to wear a U.S. jersey.
Terry, thank you, Terry. I appreciate you, and I was waiting for it. So,
all right, hold on. Let me get to these comments. We got comments, and we're responding to the comments, but they're not reading. So, going back to Ashley's comment, she did it with women's team. She said, as this is Ashley who's commenting. This is for my audio folks who can't see us, so you know who we're talking to. Miss Bowden said, "What WNBA player can't dunk? I know a few. What about Brittany Griner or Candice Parker?" Now, Brittany Griner is not a woman. I don't care what nobody says. That chick.
Don't disrespect the secretary.
Don't
disrespect the secretary.
Oh, here we go with that.
Here we go.
She's just genetically dominant, but she's still a woman.
Genetically dominant now?
She's still a woman.
Oh, okay.
Hey, don't get mad because she's 10 inches taller than you now.
Oh, bro, she didn't jump all over me. I understand that, but I'm just saying.
Me too. I follow.
I ain't got my fire extinguisher, so ladies, if you got lighters and matches, feel free to throw them at them.
All right.
But I'm glad she brought that up though, because
I'm not through reading my comment.
Brittany Griner. Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Guru. My bad.
In other words, hush.
I just say let the player field in sport. She actually also said no one watches the WNBA. You get paid by views. She also says double standard in basketball is entertainment. People pay for the players' celebrity status. They pay for the comeback stories. Ashley said shots fired on one of the comments, and then Ashley came back. But this is okay. I got two Ashleys now that I think about it. I got Ashley Bowden and Ashley Collins. So Ashley Bowden said, I think women just don't get enough exposure and advertisements like the men do. The more exposure equals more money. They just need more publicity. I totally agree with that.
I was just about to say that too.
And there have been some dominant players in the WNBA. You're looking at Maya Moore. You're looking at Candice Parker. You're looking at Brittany Griner, people like that. Think about when we think about old school WNBA. You think about Lisa Leslie and what's my girl Teaspoon up in Play for the Liberty, and so it's so many. The WNBA should have been on the NBA level a long time ago. To me, I mean, but like you guys have said, there's not a lot of interest in the WNBA, which is I mean because they're pretty good.
I think to Ashley's comment, T, not to cut you off, but what's driving the level of interest? Is it the fact that there's not the same amount of exposure to women's sports, or is it there's not that much interest? Because I think it's what we've grown accustomed to, right? And so that's what they're putting out there. So then that's what you're consuming.
Yeah. I think it could be really a combination.
Yeah,
I think if they play with some little bitty shorts and some tank tops, then they might, get some exposure. Like,
hey,
I'm just being honest.
They do that in football, though. They got lingerie football, and they really don't get that much viewers either compared to the NFL.
Exactly. So, and I'm glad she said that, Miss Seawalk, because my homegirl that I mentioned she plays it for the Austin Acoustics, or used to. She was an MVP quarterback. She had a rocket arm. Now, these girls did play in small shorts, bikini tops with football pads and hit like a man. And I'm saying you would see helmets fly.
And barely any pads for that.
But here's and I love the support. I supported her still to this day. Still, I'm a number one fan of hers. But here we go with the viewership, kind of like what Ashley Collins said in the comments. You got your viewership, there's not enough support. And why don't they support is a huge issue now. Now, should we get the NFL players to vouch for people like NBA players are vouching for the WNBA? Should we get, kind of like with doctors now. Doctors there's an actual study.
But why though, bro?
Doctors are getting paid more than female doctors.
It's the same question.
See, I understand that, but see, that's because that's a skill that has something that you can curve. Like when it comes to sports and celebrity and entertainment, it's basically going to be what people want, and that's what should drive anything. So if women want to be, if we want to see women, that's up to us to make that happen. If that's not happening on that level, then we can't look at either sex and be like, oh, this is sexist or this is inequality. No, there's some things is like, I'm pretty sure if there's a show to go to, Beyonce going to sell out before, say, a T.I. You know why? Because people want to see Beyonce.
Janet Jackson.
I'm just saying in general, like unless your name Michael Jackson, Usher, or somebody huge like that, you don't. When it comes to that, it's a whole different arena. Basketball is people want to see somebody get dunked on, not just a nice 3-pointer. Now, don't get me wrong, they pay to go see Steph, but there's nothing better in basketball than seeing a dude right? This right here over another grown man. That it's something about looking at the football field and all of a sudden somebody get flattened. It's violent. I mean,
and I think
you just try to call me, man. Call me back.
And I think, to that point, if you look at sports all the way up to the high school level, even male dominance over the sports viewer crowd is just abundant. I mean, look at how much football gets funded versus women's sports or girls' sports in that case, because they're, I guess, basically still in high school. But if you got football versus volleyball or basketball, whatever, like you always have more funding, especially down here in South Texas. You always have more funding for a male sport than you do a women's sport, which in turn, draws less of a crowd because you want to have that funding refunded again, rebuilt up during the season. So you're going to have more advertisement for that because you're like, hey, if you're the school board, look, the band boosters even, look, let's go hype up this football team right now because we got to put this money back in the budget at the end of the year. Other crowds aren't going to basketball, volleyball, whatever, as much as they are football, so they don't hype up those games as much. So if you look at even, like it goes back to the marketing as well, and I'm not saying that's all across into professional sports, but just the attention has always been dominated by male sports as well as, as far as marketing goes.
Well, you can go back in history and say that male sports came before female sports.
Yes.
So it's what you got accustomed to. There was already a draw. There was already a market. There was already a place for male sports long before there were ever even female sports.
Most definitely
in the equation. So it's what we got used to, and so then that's what you kind of continue on with.
Yeah. So hold on, can we go back to Marci right quick? And I want Annette in this as well. Okay. Like what do you guys like? It is linked, and I did my study. Like, trust me, when this topic came up, I wanted to really dive into it. Now, it is tied to how the old ways were, where women didn't have they didn't even have their voting privileges. They didn't have anything. So there are ties to people, the old ways of thinking. Now we got the new age in here nowadays, and how times are changing. How can we progress and get women and these double standards? These double standards are edgy compared to where male doctors are getting paid. Female doctors are getting paid less. I think one of the studies was, I think it was 60 cents to $1 below, and that's way below average for doctors. So where are we gonna go from here? Who wants to tackle that?
Okay, so here's my thought on that one.
Hold that thought real quick. We are at the midway point of this show, so what I want to do is just to reset and let everyone know who's watching and listening that you are. If you don't know where you are, I need for you to read a little bit. The Knuckleheads Chronicles podcast live stream. You are here with us every Sunday at 5:00 on the Eastern Seaboard. There, you have me, the Guru. You got Candice Walker, Marci Batiste, Kevin the Great, D Goodson, or the Good Son, who we call him around here. We put emphasis on the good son. And then we got Ashley, and then we got Annette in here. And you have the opportunity to call in if you want to express your comment, or you want to express anything that's on your heart about what we're talking about. Call in 657-390-2503. Ricky tried to call me and then hung up. Come on, man. Call me back.
Call me on my cell phone.
Was
I the only one feeling that? No. All right.
I would.
All right. So
the comments are about why is there a wage gap?
That was a question. I agree with it.
So, how can we progress?
How do we change, right? How do you change to that? Right? So honestly, you have to, it's not going to happen overnight, but in order to change those standards of how it goes back to, how women didn't have the equality and everything people got to learn how to change their perspective, because they're so stuck on how they perceive what it's supposed to be that they're not busy. They're too busy on their own thoughts, not looking to see, oh, well, maybe let me look at it their point of view. People have to change their perspective on how they look at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you're absolutely right. You know, women get paid a whole lot less in any industry than a man is a strong one. They got testosterone. You know, they still look at women as that fragile being. But you know what? And maybe wise, yeah, the male generation does. They are. But you know what? When it comes to a woman, for me personally, strength ain't about muscles. It ain't about. It comes from within. Like it gives you the drive to continue to go do what you got to do. And honestly, you know, nobody's gonna change the pay of that unless that company, you know, or whatever industry it is, sees that, you know what, I'm doing the same doctor, you know, with the male doctors and female doctors. That female doctor could do, you know, language, but she could be a kick ass, and that male doctor ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? And she's still a doctor. You know, that male doctor have multiple, you know, malpractices underneath his belt and not even know about it. You know, a female doctor, you know, just for an example, he, you know, doing what she was doing to work up the ladder. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Nobody's unless that particular industry changes it and changes their perceived. It doesn't. If it's a male, female, if they could do the job, they should be able to get paid a wages. It shouldn't matter that I got a boob or some. You know, it shouldn't matter.
Big facts.
It really should not matter.
That's my opinion.
It shouldn't. But
hold on. We got to call him. All right. Let's get him on here. Ricky.
Yes, sir.
What's going on with you, buddy?
How are you?
Good, man.
Hey, I just wanted to chime in a little bit. So I did coach with the Omaha Heart for the past 2 years in the LFL league. Those women are phenomenal athletes. They train, they diet, they hit the playbooks. We have real practices, all that kind of stuff. But it's a lot of things behind the scenes that fans don't know. Some of it is almost scripted. Like they want to create these larger than life personalities, like in WWE, the wrestling thing. And so like we would meet team versus team prior to and talk about how we're going to do our warm-ups. They would film those things. We would do commercials prior to the game. The girls had to be there almost 8 hours before to do hair and makeup and all that kind of stuff. So it's a little bit different behind the scenes once you actually see it. And it is very, very much under-supported. And so we couldn't get the funding and the sponsors that the men get in order to keep that league going. And so now, even though it's one of the biggest things that's watched across the world, the sponsors still won't bite. And so the uniforms, they were small, and then we changed it to be more family friendly. And then, you know, again, it's just a sponsorship. They're not jumping on board.
I can vouch for that. I can literally vouch 100% for that because my homegirl, Miss Winfrey, who plays Tashay Winfrey, who plays for the Austin Acoustics that I told you, she told me exactly everything that he said. So thank you for putting that in there. And, you know, it is a sponsorship deal. It is, but there's this, you know, male versus female that's still going around with the league.
Yeah, but remember too, at the same time, let us not lose perspective here. When I was in high school, there was no WNBA. So shout out to all those women who look at stereotypes and look at the barriers and say, screw them, I'm going to do me. Because when I was in high school, there was no WNBA.
Do y'all watch the WNBA?
I watch it every now and then. I'm a fan.
I watch it every now and then.
I'm a Sue Bird fan. So
why y'all don't watch it?
It's just like, for
it's
me.
The entertainment for me.
I like the roughness, and I like they got the finesse. They got the jump shot. I want to see somebody get dunked on. I want to see somebody ankles break. Yeah. And women don't do it that way for me.
Now, let me ask
we can't say that because there's some women that can cross some ankles now.
I'm just saying, but you got to watch particular people. In the NBA, any given night, you can see that with any team.
I balled in the courts with the female who made it to the WNBA, LaToya Thomas, who went to Greenville High School from my city, Greenville, Mississippi. She was one that she made it the third year of the WNBA was there, and she balled out. She had a really good career for 8-9 years. and she would take us. We would be at the courts. It'd be crowded.
I done got beat up on by a couple
She's one of the first ones. Yeah, she's one of the first ones that broke my ankles in front of all these men, and I'm getting clowned on. But it's part of the sport. So, I mean, I didn't think anything of it. Now, other men felt bad about it, would rough her up, and you on the court with men. But
let me ask a stupid question to anybody, and it's a simple, just a name. To anybody who knows about, watch, or anything, who's the greatest basketball player to you? No explanation. Just give the name of the greatest.
James.
Okay, she say LeBron. Who else?
LeBron James.
Oh my God! Can we mute her?
No,
Michael,
it's a point. It's a point. It is. We got Michael. We got Scotty. There's things to me that LeBron can never do that Michael did, and this is why I say. Here we go. Check this out. No, here. Oh, Larry Joe Bird was the one that him. Look,
hey, Larry Bird. Okay, now I'm going to mute.
Do you know that every single All-Star that plays basketball in the NBA right now makes more than Michael Jordan? Every single All-Star right now makes more money than Michael Jordan did at his prime.
That's not
this is the point, though. This is the point. What Michael Jordan endured, even though he's better than 99.999999, including LeBron James percentage.
Here we go.
All I'm saying is Michael Jordan made $30 million for 5 years when he re-upped on one of his contracts. Paul George, no ring, can't make it to the finals. And all this other stuff, just signed 176 for the same amount of time.
Yeah.
So for these women right now who are balling, and they're grinding and they're doing it, and they're not getting the support from America that they feel they should get, maybe that they should get. But even with all of that saying, when I was in high school, there was no WNBA. Now you got you got a league that's somewhat thriving. And they can only go up. Now I'll say that it's on us to change that. It's nobody should have to give anybody anything. If it's not fair, then you push the envelope why you should have more, and you keep working towards that. I'm always on the side of equality, but some things are history versus you ain't finished blazing that trail yet.
All right. I think if we step away from sports,
go ahead.
And let's talk about a total wage gap, then it's bigger than people's perspectives. It's bigger than perception. It goes back to what do the laws say that people can do? What are corporations allowed to do? And what are they doing because it's a business sense? And what are they doing because it's it has legal recourse attached to it? And until you start holding corporations, including the NFL, the NBA, WNBA accountable for their legal decisions and putting recourse behind it, you're always going to see that gap. And I don't care if it's a medical professional, if it's a sports professional. I was a banker, a black woman in a white man's world for 30 years. And I busted my ass, but I still made a fraction. Even though I was making six figures, I made a fraction of what my male counterpart in the same position did, and I worked twice as hard. But that goes back to that's what the companies were allowed to do.
And I like that.
So let's do this here.
Talk about legalities, bro.
We're gonna drop Ashley's comment. Well, it's already up. I'm gonna drop Ashley Dowden's comment, and then we
I bet she got some Jordans.
It's 2020
I bet she got some Jordans.
We got the LeBron.
2020 now. But still, no matter what year it is, Michael Jordan is still undefeated in the finals. Period.
And he still got more defensive player of the year than Bron. He still got more first all defensive teams than Bron. He still
one team than Bron. I mean, so we can go all day, but we're gonna
a higher percentage.
I mean, feel free to have this argument on my sports page. Yes, I have a sports page, and yes, we get down with Dwayne can tell you, Terry can tell you. This goes back and forth, literally. So, it's a jumper. That page is jumping. So, go ahead, Terry.
Let's switch gears. We're gonna talk about double standards in relationships between men and women. This is why we're here.
Yes.
We did the sports thing for a little while. Now we're gonna get to the juicy part. This is why Marci's here. This is why Annette's here. I don't know why the rest of y'all here, but we're gonna get to it.
Yes.
Love y'all. All right. So the double standards in relationships, Kevo. What do you think? What's your question?
I have that. Now,
gotcha.
Women and men. Let me get a look.
You got to get close to the screen for this. I'm waiting.
Speak softly, but carry a big stick. I'm just telling you.
Look me in my eyes when I say this. Why are women wanting to put the same value of how many sexual encounters you've been with, and call us men whores?
Why can't we do it?
Why?
Who wants to take that one first?
Because a hoe is a hoe.
If I go have sex with
Hold on, niggas, it's what I'm gonna go with.
If I go have sex with 100 niggas and then another man go.
Hold on, I got two people talking. Who's answering? I heard Candice and I heard.
Let's go. Yeah, go. Let's go with Miss Seawalk.
Annette was talking, then Seawalk was talking. So yeah, let them two.
I'll go. Okay.
If I have sex with 100 niggas and I talk to another nigga, he gonna be like, "Damn, you ran through." And I'm like, "Well, how many people you have sex with? 100 females?" Like, well, what's the difference?
What?
You still ain't gonna know that I've been. You ain't gonna know that I had sex with them 100 people unless I told you.
Matter of fact, I hate that term. Bringing through.
Preach. Hold on. No. It's not even about. But she right because men, if you got more than like I say, you can count more partners on your 10 fingers. Then they talking you a hoe, you a thought. So you get down like that. So that's shot then, right? It's all out there, right? It's wide. But let a man go out there and do the same thing. Oh, he pimping. Oh, he got that. He had that. That's a bad bitch right there. Oh, he got that one too. Miss me with that. How are you gonna call somebody a hoe for being sexually active? How?
Miss me with that.
I think that just went off what I
sexually active. If you can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
Maybe I could do it better. I don't know. I'm not saying I can, but I'm just.
It's simple though. You're absolutely right. No. Let me speak on behalf of grown men everywhere. You're absolutely right. Look, there's no difference in what you said. A hoe is a hoe, whether you're a male hoe or a female hoe. Look, I am one of the most transparent people I know.
Yes,
and
you are.
If you ever watch any of my, whether it's preaching, teaching, or any of the above, it's real simple. I went through a time when I was married. Regardless of how the marriage was going and how messed up or how good or bad it was or wasn't, I was in covenant with one person. So my definition of what makes a person a hoe is anybody outside of that dedicated relationship. If you're in a relationship and you're sleeping around, you're a hoe, whether you're male or female.
I agree with you on that one. But if you're single,
you're growing. I don't think there's a difference. This is a difference. Society says one thing, people live another way, and nobody ever talks about it on an open platform. We can get to a place where we're on the same level. You want to know, like I say this all the time, you look at sexuality in the church. Most of the time, sexuality in the church gets demonized, right? Mm-hmm. Instead of saying, hey, it is a natural thing in life. You got to learn how to control some things. You got to learn how to have some discipline in some areas, but nobody talks about it. And what happens is you get a female who was molested as a kid. You get a female who had the 15, 16-year-olds in the neighborhood hollering at her when she was 12 and nobody telling her worth and all of these things. And then she does any and everything to be loved or to feel accepted. And then we turn around and we smack them around because we created a narrative and she's living an image that she shouldn't have to endure. So we all got to do better. Men, we got to do better and stop perpetuating this mess that we can go out there and tell our sons, here's a box of condoms. Tell our daughters, I got 5 shotguns. We got that. That starts with us.
Can I do something real quick? I'm gonna drop 2 clues. I'm gonna drop 2 bombs on that one. Here's one. Why? Can y'all hear me?
Mm-hmm.
You hear my bomb? That's the second one because Dwayne just dropped some major nuggets on y'all. So y'all might want to run this back when you get a chance. But the double for me is crazy. It's crazy. So what I want to do real quick is anybody who's watching, if you want to chime in on this conversation right now is the time to do it. Give us a call. You can call in 2-657-390-2503. It's on the bottom of the screen. So if you want to call in, I got my phone right in front of me. So let's do it. I hate double standards, man. Why?
Tell me why though.
I've hated them because it's not right that a man is labeled a player or whatever and does the same thing or has the same kind of past. Then she's a thought of his prime. She's this, she's that. I think it's always been crazy for me as a man. I couldn't no. And that, like I said earlier, the term ran through. I hate that term. It's like fingers on a chalkboard to me when people say, "Oh, she's so ran through."
Yeah, because if you do your giggles, it's gonna still be tight when the next man come along.
Come on, and you if you're honest, if the brothers are out here being honest, you know what I'm saying?
I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for that one. I was not ready for that one.
Let me let Lil Boozy take this over. Let Lil Boozy take over. Watch this. See, all these cats I had that's not being real. Listen.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
So look, you gotta start being real, man.
We should have some pliers up there.
What's the comment you made, Candice? I missed it.
I said, because if you're doing your Kegels right, then when the next nigga come along, he ain't gonna know.
I mean, you see, I grabbed my water.
No, let's go ahead. Let's unwrap that. Let's unwrap what she just said.
Please,
because she what she just said is this. That's the way the typical dude thinks.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So she's thinking like a man right now. The typical, generalizing, and that's what happens. And that's what happens with dudes. And what we don't realize is people notice when you don't.
Okay,
if you're giving everything to a person, and then you start giving to another person, but you're treating this one right. Eventually, you're gonna stop treating this one because now you gotta focus some of that energy over here, and you're gonna get caught. Dudes just don't realize most of the time. Women notice everything, and that's where most of us get in trouble at.
Mm-hmm. Marcia, you got a point. I got a call. Go ahead.
Which one are you doing first?
You.
Okay. So my whole thing is whole babies come out of vaginas. So whatever y'all putting in,
they can't touch it.
It's not gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like if we can recover from that and put it back to a normal state, whatever y'all coming with is irrelevant at that point.
I was on the other end of that delivery, and let me tell you, that's
miraculous. Hold on, Kev. You got a call. Let me get this.
AKA Snapback.
All right, Carl. So what's your name? Where you calling me from?
It's Tati.
Hey, TT. What's up, mama? What you got?
Oh my God. I just had an aha moment.
Uh-oh. Hit it.
Brother, what's his name?
Which one? Dwayne? Or the one in the hat?
Yes, Brother Dwayne.
Or the good-looking one in the corner?
You have to talk to me.
Okay.
You said something so deep, and it's just like I dropped what I was doing.
He has that knack for doing it.
We're talking about.
He does.
We're talking about the children.
Oh, absolutely.
Raise them. To that. Hey, that's something to talk about for real. Because it was like you give your son a condom, and you tell him, just don't go out here and make no babies. And I swear to God, like that hit home for me. And I promise you, hey, I need you to talk about that.
Yeah.
Because
I think that was very powerful, and I think it was something that, like how most people miss the real message behind the message.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we can, because absolutely, I actually had that conversation.
Male, you know what I'm saying?
And it's where it starts. Really, it really is where a lot of these double standards starts. That's the image that we begin to see. We are who we see, whether that's from the home, whether that's from social media now, or the community that we live in. Like I remember my uncle sleeping with every last friend that my mom had. Every one of my mom's friends, my uncle got children by him. Facts. Except one that can't have children. He married that one. But the rest of them, he got children by him. So I grew up seeing that, so that became the norm. Nobody had to say this is what a man is. Nobody had to verbally say anything. What I saw, it literally was the thing that held me. And another thing, dudes get real salty when we can't have what we want. We get salty. So to answer to comment and feedback off of what Seawalk said earlier, part of the reason that happens, women get called names, you ran through, you ain't this, that, and the third, because that brother can't get on the ride because he ain't running you through. So I remember growing up, even 15, 16, I'd see people at school. Hey, you cute. Can I be your boyfriend? Nah, I ain't looking for no man. You ain't nothing but this, that, and the third. Mad because he can't get none. And as a man, it went from that to, you let him hit it. Why I can't get none? You ain't nothing but a hoe anyway. We gotta change that narrative. That's on us.
We do.
We do. And before kids are even sexually active, because we're giving baby girls little baby dolls, teaching them how to be a mama, teaching them how to be a wife, a girlfriend, a this, a that, a servant to the man, and all of that. Then gonna go tell you when you're 15, but don't have no babies. Well, you just told me when I was 3 how to be a mama.
Well, y'all killing me. Wait.
I don't even want no more water after that.
Wait. I told y'all there was gonna be some bomb dropping up in here today. It's crazy. Y'all doing your thing. Hey, so let's read a couple of comments. Ashley Collins said, "Ooh, the disrespect for men when you reject them." It comes, and it's crazy. And I think the level of disrespect that comes from men when you reject them is because they don't know how to handle the insecure first, and then they don't know how to handle rejection. So I've never.
It's a male pride.
The ego and the pride is a big thing. And if you're walking around in pride, you in for a long haul anyways. So you need to get out of that.
I got something for that, Terry, when you're done there.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, as a couple of you know, just recently I made the decision to be publicly abstinent. And you do not understand the anger and hostility a man will give me when I tell him that. Like, you have no idea the level of just resentment a man will. But if it were the other way around, I'd be a hoe.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, oh, y'all double standard right now. Like, because, you want me to be saved for you, according to men, theoretically, you want a woman that hasn't been with many men. But then when I tell you I'm abstinent to keep myself from being used by men so that I can save myself for a man that I feel is on that level with me, then
biblically, you're onto something. Biblically, we are onto something. Now, here's the thing. And oh my goodness. All right. So here we are with the entertainment today. We got rappers that's been calling females that have multiple people, hoes. We got, you can't hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So we got these entertainers. We've been having, like Tupac, even though he's got some great hits for women, but we've been calling females, this and that from time and time again through entertainment. It's been done on TV shows, movies, everything. Yet we don't, and we're literally handing this down from generation to generation. But yet we're not handing enough Bibles. What Ashley is doing, that is something biblically that should be followed. We're not handing enough Bibles to these generations going down. So and that's something biblically that she's doing. Yeah, it's looked at as something bad. So I mean, if we can get some Bibles and slap some men around and then tell them, hey, you should maybe read a couple of chapters of this and go from here to from A to B, then we can maybe get somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Even if you take away from a biblical standpoint, men feel that women are possession. Period. Point blank.
Yeah.
And so if I
that's been from time. That's been from time.
Don't make me
hear that, but it's a reflection of them. It's not a reflection of us. Whether she's absent or not, she says that he doesn't have access. It doesn't matter if she's choosing to be absent, and if she's choosing not to give him a piece of the cupcake, then he's going to be mad, and it's not going to matter why.
Right.
Mad. And on that same note, why do you think it is that men aren't taught that their body is as sacred as a woman's either?
Because they're put on outside.
I'm gonna say it's not that it's not taught. The thing is, it's not taught in the right places, right. and it's not taught widespread. So, because everything y'all saying, correct. Like, I'm so feeling it, and I'm with it. But here's the thing: we're physically, just like we got differences physically. Like the way that our hormones and our chemical makeup of our body is different. Mm-hmm. The typical male, I'm gonna say 75 to 85% of all males. 75 to 85% of all males. We have this little feeling inside of us that no matter how good we are, there's this thing that starts to get blood flow, and when blood starts flowing south of the border, all common sense goes out of our heads. That's why when you said when I was absent, publicly abstinent, I would get the looks. You know why? Because one, they approach you because they appreciated something about you. They saw something they liked. They were intrigued with something you said, and it got them to the table. Mm-hmm. Now they're not. I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say what I'm saying. Then I'm gonna make a statement. So at that point, what they want and what gets fed the most kicks in. And what kicks in generally is, I want to smash. You smell good. Oh, I like the curves. Oh, I can't wait to see how you. That's what goes through our mind. And at that moment in time, for the average male, the only thing that we're thinking about is how can I close this out? How can I get what I want? And they don't take into account that not only is this woman valuable and precious, but I'm also valuable and precious. They don't understand that they're going to continue to make themselves more broken in the long run because they got a high body count. I'm one of those dudes y'all talking about, but I'll say it from the mountaintops. I was a hoe. Mm-hmm. But here's the difference. Here's the difference between a grown man who used to be a hoe and a grown man who's still endeavoring in hoe activities. Here's the difference.
Yeah,
I realized that every single woman that I laid down with, that I slept with, that was the backseat of a car, that was a park bench, or wherever it went down. This is AKA Minister Dwayne talking, being real. When I was that person, the only thing that mattered to me was trying to feel something that I had lost inside, right? Or something I was searching for. The reality of it was it felt good for a moment. Mm-hmm. And then I looked at a fine afterwards and I was like, why did I do this? Then here comes the brokenness, right? Now I'm going to start curving her. She's going to have issues because of that. Because you was just a momentary fill in the blank for me because I needed a fix. Right. But you was looking for something real.
Yeah.
And now that I got my fix, I just heard a real woman.
That's the gratification.
And now she's gonna have to deal with what's wrong with me? Am I not pretty enough? All these questions she may ask herself. Bros, we gotta look. If you sleep with 100 women, that's 100 problems you're gonna have in the future.
Please no. Please no.
I'm telling you, the worst feeling in the world is to be with somebody you love and you got a flash of some woman you don't even remember her name.
Yeah,
that's
Terry,
real.
Terry,
yeah. Yes.
Now I'm gonna hit you with this. Who's to blame? I mean, can we blame it on being young, or is it being just young and stupid?
Me.
Were you asking Candice?
You, Candice, or Terry, anyone? Is it the age? Is it because we were young and dumb? Is it because we weren't taught appropriately?
That's the excuse we use.
It's the biscuit, sir.
I wanted that bit. Yeah, can we get the bit?
It's the biscuit.
We'll go there with
they don't know about the biscuits. I don't think they know.
It's the biscuit.
It's the biscuit.
It's the biscuit.
They watch this show.
Hold up. Let me ask you, Ashley. Do you know about the biscuit? See, Miss Seawald, do y'all know?
I don't think I know what you're referring to. Honestly,
can we drop the biscuit one
time? I can't relate on this one right now because I can't even what say. I guess I'm having difficulties over here.
Oh, wow. Ashley made a comment. Ashley Bowden. It starts at home. Boys should have the same type of talk that girls get. I agree. I would be the first to tell you, and Dwayne would tell you, and Kev would tell you. I never got to talk. I don't know what the talk is.
I agree.
And so trying to pass that along to my son is going to be like, where's that book at again? Because I never got to talk.
We can have all the talks in the world. It's what we see. It's what we see.
Yeah.
I need Dwayne to tell people what the biscuit is because I think.
Go ahead, Dwayne. Tell them about the biscuit. Everybody go on mute.
Yeah, tell me.
Yes. We saw that class a couple weeks ago. That was, tell them what the biscuit is.
Give them the biscuit.
So the biscuit is this.
Go ahead.
The biscuit doesn't take a long time to cook, but say you get some grains, right? You go to the store, you buy some grand butter be not biscuits. Now,
those are good, by the way.
There is directions for when this biscuit is ready to eat, right? 15 to 20 minutes, whatever it is. It has a time, a maturation process. Now, sometimes you get a little hungry and you look in the oven and you see that biscuit is starting to brown, but it's still mushy in the middle. But you're hungry. So you go in the oven and you grab that biscuit. That biscuit ain't ready to be ate. That biscuit might cause you to sit on the toilet later. That biscuit might not be good enough. You might have to cut some of the biscuit out to make your sandwich. You might can't put jelly or peanut butter in your biscuit because the middle of it is still uncooked. This is men. Some of you guys have gotten us out of the oven before we were ready to be a biscuit, before we were ready to be a man. So I can't expect a man that's never seen anybody, never experienced paying bills to walk in my life and pay a bill if he ain't experienced that part of the heat yet. I can't expect a man to be faithful to me when he hadn't gone through the process to know who he is and be disciplined within himself. Just like if you take that biscuit out of the oven before it's ready, that's the same thing that happens when you get a man before he's ready to be a real man.
So now you know what the biscuit is.
That's a good analogy.
Go ahead, Marci.
And that leads into Kevin's question: is it age related? Absolutely not, because that doesn't matter. Like one of my exes was 47 years old, and he was still an F boy. And I'm gonna keep it clean because I don't know what your audience look like, but you know what I'm talking about. So I used to say, oldest living F boy there is, right? But it didn't have nothing to do with his age. It had to do with how he was, how he came up, and the fact that he wasn't ready. And no matter what situation you put a man in, whatever situation you put a woman in, if they're not ready, and they're not going to perform. It's going to perform at the level that they're at. Right. If it's a raw biscuit, it's a raw biscuit.
So a biscuit is a biscuit. So
because I was 20, in my 20s, I had a relationship. And I'm in my 30s, and I'm hoeing. So age ain't got nothing to do with it.
Did she say she was in her 30s and she was what?
I said I'm in my 30s now and I'm hoeing.
Hey, that's the real story. I'll just read the comments they put up. Cherry
it is what it is.
Yeah, Cherry said she would. What did she add? She said, "Young and honestly, I wouldn't take back my whole face. Talk me so much."
Okay. So with C. Walker, I ain't gonna lie. Like I personally have a whole stage. Maybe I'm wrong. Lord me. I mean, but when you're grown enough to know what you do, fight on that one. Because in that time, early 20s, you figure out what you like. You just keep that quiet.
Right.
Don't tell nobody what you do. Double standard.
That double standard again.
And I was married from.
That's a double
I shouldn't
standard.
have said that, but anyway.
I was married at 20
Maybe
until I'm 30.
Mm-hmm.
You enter. People calling it the whole phase or whatever, and you're gonna claim whatever you're gonna claim it. You can call it whatever you want to call it. But for me, I was married at 21, divorced at 37, 38, and I felt like I'm finally free. Like I finally know my body now, and I'm like, okay. So this is what I didn't even know it was supposed to feel that good. You know what I mean? So you get into, and you have to go through the stages that you have to go through, and that's what I love about Dwayne's example of the biscuit. Like everybody's got to go through it. It's got to go from the raw stage to the ready stage. And there's whatever happens in between, but you have to be cognizant of the fact that you are touching people's lives.
Right.
And so you might be in the midst of your whole phase and that person is ready to commit. They're ready to, they're in a whole different phase. They went through their whole phase already. And so understanding that you got to know who you are and who you're dealing with.
Right.
And that goes for both sides. And so when you get with a dude who is just raggedy and he's dog ass.
Yeah.
If it was dog ass when you left him, it was dog ass when you was with him, you just see something different.
Hold up. Now, and this makes me laugh because you got some women.
And like there was a comment there, age is about maturity.
Right.
But
go ahead, Kev.
You got some women. All right, let's go. Let's keep it on the kind of on a relationship topic. All right, you got some. All right, we can call men deadbeats and da. Right, but I've got some men that are taking care of their kids and whatnot, and yet that double standard kicking in. We can't call these women deadbeats because they want to still be in their whole phase and still go out and not see their kids.
You can call a woman a deadbeat. You absolutely can call. I know.
I believe you can because a deadbeat.
I need all of y'all on this post. I need y'all in this Facebook post immediately because man, there was some hot women in there.
I can't hear nobody.
Yeah, a deadbeat's a deadbeat across the board. It doesn't matter by definition.
Yes.
I know women that don't even see their kids. Like as a mother, especially, like to never see your kid that you birthed out of your body.
I don't even know how you do that.
It's terrible.
But in the words of Lil Boosie though.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
And this is why we have to get to this point because there's some people who are deadbeat by default. Yep. Hear me out. I know that sounds crazy. So let me explain it. Let me explain it. For some people, it resonates with because they understand. There's some people who wants relationships or went through a time where they wasn't right and they needed some act right and they didn't have it because they had other issues. Not minimizing the fact that you have children that you're supposed to be responsible for, but when you're damaged, you're damaged. I don't care if you're male or female. If you're damaged, you can't operate the way you're supposed to in every aspect of life. So for those who have been at that point, and now you're in a place where you've been gone, but you yearn that relationship, you're gonna have to grow up in some areas. Right. You're gonna have to talk to somebody who's gonna do it in love and hey, I love you. Your well-being is important. However, I'm your boy, so let's take the gloves off. This is what you got to do. Okay, you get fussed out, you might have to deal with that. Okay, you get the cold shoulder from your child, you might have to deal with that. We don't have these conversations. Instead, we all just look at our partners that are like that, and we just kind of look at them differently. We don't say nothing to them. We just like.
But okay, real quick, I want Ashley's balance comment. You can go through your whole phase, but you have to first make sure your kids are good. See, to me, Ashley, that's just me, and I don't speak for everybody on the panel, but for me, there's a level of growth that has to be done to get here.
I want up you maturity. Yeah,
there's got to be a level of growth here because if you're grown to a point where you know that your kids are your priority, then you go through your whole phase. Now you're just going through your whole phase being stupid. That's two different things. Then you go through your whole phase, your priority straight, and then just being the hoe. That's two different things altogether. To Nev's comment, I'm gonna read hers real quick if I can. Pull her up. Being a social worker, I've seen many men and women equally who were deadbeats. Some had other issues, drug abuse, physical abuse, and mental health issues. Lots of inner issues that haven't been dealt with. Exactly. So that's why it's important to me that you have to know who you are. You have to know what's going on with you. If you listen to the Knucklehead Chronicles, my personal story about me, I found out that I had an issue with me at 17 years old, but I didn't do nothing about it until I was 30. And you know how many people I destroyed in between that time because I knew what the issue was, but said, I don't want to deal with it. And I destroyed many folk until about 30, 31 years old. And then I decided. But how many? I ruined 2 children and 2 marriages by the time I was 30. So we have to know where we are, where we stand. Let's get our issues dealt with before we start dealing with this stuff. Or we're going to end up just leaving mess everywhere. Crazy.
I think one of the comments Debbie made in the chat, I saw she's talking about communication. And I think at some point we all have to, as several people have said, we have to grow up and we got to own our own shit first and foremost. And then be ready and find somebody that, like Dwayne was saying, somebody that you can talk to. Like, I mean, Terry, you know a little bit about my history and stuff like that. It took a lot of self-work for me to get to a place where I was healthy enough. Now, I had plenty of relationships. I had plenty of experiences, whatever you want to call a whole phase or whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm responsible for Marci. And so that, like I was saying before, who I got with, I attracted, I tolerated, and I stayed with them because I was broken. It didn't have nothing. They won't do what they gonna do.
Yeah.
But I'm affected by it because I chose to stay in those situations because I hadn't fixed me. Once I fixed me, I'm good. I'm good.
How to fix you?
I'm good. And I'm to the point now where I consciously want to pursue a relationship, but it's got to look right. It's got to look different than all of my experiences in the past. But that, at the end of the day, is on me. It's not on him.
You know your
to
worth.
Already be to identify.
You know your worth.
And stop. Women who wait to be chosen instead of understanding you have the right to choose your partner.
Right.
You don't have to accept it. Right. You don't have to just accept it.
I hope my folks are listening to this because, man, I got some that need that type of spirituality that you on right now. They know you know your worth, and I hope those other females that I was talking to on that same level know your worth. Once you know your worth as women, then we men
have to straighten up.
It don't go that way though. That it's nice to think about it that way, but what she said is
dead on.
The same for both. It's the same for both.
Okay.
It don't matter. Look, here's the reality. We expect because we are good at something or good in the area that somebody else supposed to be good in it too, right? She can know her worth all day long, and she can get a good dude who's still broken, but he a good dude. He knows his worth. He knows her worth, and he still can break her even more. The reality is this, and it's a hard thing to say, but it's a hard truth. Terry, you didn't ruin your 2 kids. Now, granted, there were things that you were supposed to, as a father, put into them that you didn't. But at the end of the day, they have to choose the life that they're gonna live. Now, yeah, you may have missed out on some milestones and inputting some nuggets and a whole lot into their foundation. Mm-hmm. But you can't take the responsibility of ruining their lives. And I'm going to tell you why. I can count on one hand how many times I saw my father. One hand before I was an adult. One hand.
I can count on none because I ain't never.
Okay, so think about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, who are you right now?
I'm a right.
Were you broken or did somebody break you?
Nobody. Well, I've been broken. Yeah.
So you were broken, but you had to get fixed. You had to heal the image you saw.
Had to, but it took me 15.
That is the only thing.
That's
the only thing that Terry can bring to the table. Nothing Terry does is going to make anything on the other side of the aisle. Anybody that you engage into a relationship with, they have to be right. See, people always looking at it like, hey, I'm this, I'm that. This person got to be that. Women, it's okay. Like what was the dude, the knucklehead from last week that we was talking about, Terry? Samuels or whatever his name.
Oh, Kevin Samuels. That actually had a real.
So my sister, this is what I tell you. This is what I tell to you. This is what I tell to my brothers. Nobody should be able to have the impact to speak into your life in a way that negatively affects it with your permission. Because outside of that, it doesn't matter.
Right.
It really doesn't matter. If you're happy with you, I don't care how well my intentions are. I shouldn't have the right to make your life different.
But the key phrase there, though, D, the key phrase there, though, is that you have to be right within yourself. You have to know that you're right within yourself.
But that comes because I choose to, not because I got a good woman who deserves it. Right. Even though she deserves it, I deserve it. Men, we have to see that too. I'm worth it. The same way a woman, we tell sisters know your value all the time. Dudes, know your value. You are more than your stroke game.
But hold on, but you're not going to get to that level, though. You're not going to get to that level until that maturity level is there. No, you're not going to get that type of growth.
You can, but you got to see it though. You got to see it. Somebody got to show. You got to see somebody's.
Do you have to be broken in order for you to see it though?
Yeah. No, you don't. But you see, if you see my wounds, you can choose to do A, B, or C.
Exactly.
But it's not gonna matter until you make the choice that you want to do it for you, not just to make her happy.
Real quick,
see what I'm saying?
Real quick. If you want to call in and jump on this discussion, now is the time. Call in 657-390-2503. You can come in, say your comment or ask your question. Let's get into it. It's getting deep now. So call me.
But Kevin, what you were saying about how about the change piece, right? Let me give you context to this. I was in a series of bad relationships after I got divorced because I hadn't healed things from my childhood. I knew that about me, but I found that out too late, right? At the point that I realized that, I had to look in the mirror and say, I'm the common denominator in my relationship fails.
Exactly.
They're not more of this or less of that. They're exactly who they're going to be, and it doesn't matter who I show up as or how I show up as a woman. I can cook great. I can do right. I can do all those things, but at the end of the day, your partner, male or female, is going to be who they are and act in the way that they're going to act at the capacity and the level that they're at. So my job was to figure out what was making me pick and choose guys that I had to repair, right? So I'm picking dudes who needed me. I'm picking dudes who had requirements of me that I could fulfill because that fulfilled something within me, but it had nothing to do with who they were.
Right.
And so I'm left out because I'm sitting there like, okay, I'm a good woman. I can cook. I can do this. I got a good job. I make da 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 da. I'm funding their bullshit was what it amounted to. Yeah. But it was because of me. And so it wasn't until I fixed me that I started choosing better. And once I was able to choose better, I was able to say, you know what? I'm actually going to be okay by myself for a little while. Exactly. And it was the first time because from the time I was 16 until I was 44, the longest I had been outside of a relationship was 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm not even kidding because I would go from one to the other because I would become what they needed me to be.
You're Sagittarius, but you sound just like me.
See, what she said was, and then to shrink all of that down to what Marci just said is, and it's the old saying, it's the old adage, if you know better, you do better. Yeah,
not necessarily. You can know what you're doing is wrong and not do better.
Okay.
And that's the difference. Not do better.
And that's the difference between knowledge and wisdom.
Exactly.
Because you can have a knowledge all day. You can have an intellectual knowledge. But at the end of the day, wisdom is only applied knowledge. It's knowledge that you take and you actually do it. So know better, do better.
Know better, do better.
Know better, do better.
The healing, Tonetta Clay said, the healing process is not a quick process. It's absolutely not. And it takes time. Me, 15 years. Many of us have been damaged way before we get into our romantic relationships, whether it's a one parent home, low self-esteem and worth that came from parenting, being bullied, sexual abuse. And I was that was me. It took me 15 years because I was mad at my mom. And I didn't want to deal with any. I didn't want to deal with any of that stuff.
See, this is why we are here, though. This is why this podcast exists. Because again, and I bear to reiterate what I've done in the last podcast. The title of this podcast is exactly why we men are here, because we were knuckleheads in the past. And any way that we can reach out and teach one for someone else to not be a knucklehead, then I feel we've done our part. But as someone stated earlier, it goes back to childhood. It literally does go back to your childhood. And if we're not teaching our young ones, like my kids, I give them the talk. I gave my daughter Destiny her talk. Gave my son her talk. So, that finger, but when they were 3 years old, I never gave them the baby talk. I've never done that. Even with my kids, my son Matthew and Elijah, I don't give them the baby talk. I give them the grown talk. I talk to them like I'm talking, because they tend to grasp exactly what I say. I feel like I'm Barack Obama when I'm doing this to them, and you're going to listen, you're going to sit here, you're going to hear me. And this is this, and this is that. There's outcomes to everything. And we're not doing that to both men. See, there's the thing that I've seen people give their kids a different talk. They'll talk to their kids like giving the condom out to a kid and say, "Hey, have fun, don't have babies," and then go to the female and say, "You ain't allowed to date till you 30."
Right.
And I joke around like that with my kids, but they know the real talk. The real talk. Look, when you become an adult, adults do adult things. But at the end of the day, use your head, use your mind.
Okay. All right.
And you'll get somewhere.
All right. We're going to narrow this down here. Ashley made a comment. I'm not sure if she was talking about you, Ashley.
No, she was talking about Marci.
Oh, talking about Marci. Dang, 2 weeks has been months for me.
Oh.
But that was a period. And so I share that to say you do go through these stages. And the longest time, I mean, I'm well over 44 now, so that was a long time ago. But that's my example, is that I went from one relationship to the next because I was trying to find me in somebody else. And it took me stepping back after domestic violence and saying, you know what, you're the common denominator. Until you fix you, baby girl, it's not going to get better. And so now I'm 4 years outside of a relationship. My last relationship was 4 years ago. And I'm fine and I'm healthy, but I understand now exactly who I am, exactly what I require, and the fact that if I can't attract somebody who can communicate, there's nothing else I can do with you. I mean, we could sleep together all day long and all night long, but at the end of the day, we're not going to have anything of substance. But I had to get myself healed for that so that I wasn't constantly going on to the next one and the next thing, trying to figure out who am I, because I became whatever.
Ashley, come on and call in, honey. We've been waiting for you.
Call in, Ashley. You got another Ashley in here, and she dropping nuggets too. But you can call in and drop your nuggets.
And so, Cherish McDonald said, "See, this is why the knowledge and wisdom thing come. This is where the knowledge and wisdom thing come in. My mom would tell me exactly how to be, or what the better choice would be. But I was definitely one of those who were knowledgeable yet naive. Sometimes you just got to go through it to understand."
Yeah, so, there are those that do that end up going through. It's some of those that just have to learn from experience.
Yes.
And some of those that just learn by you just talking to them. There's a difference.
Yeah, most of us got that soft behind syndrome.
Yeah.
The hard head makes it soft behind. Most of us got that
person.
Yeah. Debbie Tweedy, I think she's part of Marci's tribe, and she says, and knowing who you are and know how to love yourself is freeing.
It's the most
freeing thing in the world.
The most liberating thing you can next to understanding who you are in Christ. Next to that, knowing yourself is look. I'm an advocate for mental health now. We got to start doing this. Go get some counseling, some therapy. Look, I'm telling you, when I went to a counselor, started getting some, I was like, wow, I do that. Wow, I think like that. Look,
that's so
you need to know how you look. We know how everybody else look and everybody else business, but we don't know us. We know what makes our sister tick. We know what pisses our cousins off. We know what pisses our man off, what our woman loves, but we don't really know that about us.
Yeah, that's what's up.
And it was
I'm waiting on Ashley to call me, and then we're going to end the show as soon as she calls in. So, Ashley, if you're watching this, you're still in here, 657-390-2503. While we're waiting on Ashley,
if
you guys are on Clubhouse is that new platform everybody's jumping on, trying to get on. If you're on Clubhouse, follow me at KC Podcast on Clubhouse, which is pretty cool. It's a pretty cool app if you've never been on it. But there was a comment that Ashley Collins had made a while back. I don't even know if I can find it so far up in the comments. By the way, thank you guys we had some comments today. So thank you for letting me, I know Restream just sent me a message and said we just got 100 comments on this chat.
We're well over that now too.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we are. But being in the know of who you are is something that helped Terry. It took me 15 years to get there. And there's still times where it is snowing. Okay, never mind.
You are in Idaho. You know that, right?
Not for
you
long.
know you're in Idaho, right?
But not for long, though. I got 2 years. It's snowing right now, though. Anyways, but that was the best part for me. The best part for me was finally understanding who I was. Even though I knew what the issue was at 17, like I said before, I didn't do a thing about it until I was 30. So 13 years. I went through a lot of torment because I didn't want to face it because it was easier to not face it than to face it. Because when you're in that process of saying, okay, this is the ugly truth about me. When you look in the mirror and say, this is the issue with me. Now I got to fix it. Now I got to go back. I got to apologize to folks. Now I got to go back. I got to fix me. It's like going from meat to being a vegan, right? It's like changing up your diet, changing the way you think, changing the way you see things. And that's what helped me. And I got lucky and then didn't end up in a situation to where, it was too bad or whatever. Now, see, I'm yakking, waiting on Ashley. And so I'm going to do this right here. Let me thank my guest that came on, Seawalk, who is no longer with Ashley. I think and her eyelashes are on point. Listen here.
Right.
You keep rocking the suburbs, right?
Took me a minute.
Don't sweat it. Hey, your process of abstinence and celibacy, you keep rocking that and don't let nobody tell you. And if you get any Yahoo in your inbox, please send them to me. And then
send them to us.
I'll send you what's left of them.
Yeah, we in the car. Me and Dwayne and Kevin, we in the car. I mean,
Kevin knows.
I'm only 2 hours away.
I'll do the bits and pieces that are left of them.
Yeah. So, and Marci, thank you, Marci, for being here. If you guys want to follow her on MarciBatiste.com. Gonna put that thing on. I got my pop filter. So I say the teast real good. I like it. And she's the coolest chick I know.
And she reminds me of me. Like it sounds like her story is like my story in a lot of ways. We got a lot of overlap.
Hold tight, y'all. Listen to who we got on the line. Caller, your name.
I already know who this is.
Caller, your name. Where you calling me from? Wait,
Well, she got Sprint.
My bad.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
I can. That was me. Hey, who this is?
Hi, I'm Ashley Collins. I'm from Florida. Okay.
What up?
What up, though?
What up? Hello there.
We was worried about you for a minute. I didn't know.
I had to figure out how a phone works. I never make phone calls.
All right, what's your comment on it?
So I would love to know, because a lot of the women in this talk, they're very powerful, they're very assertive, but do you ever get called the B word because of your assertiveness and your confidence?
All the time, and I wear it like a champ.
Oh, yeah.
What? Is that what that is? The C word?
Put her crown on?
The B word. She said the B word.
B word.
B word.
Oh,
I've been called
right.
the B word by some of my best friends, so I'm not worried about anybody else calling me the B word. They can just have a good day.
Kick rocks with no socks. Have a coconut smile. All right. So Ashley, listen, you have another comment? Because I'm gonna end the show here in a bit.
Oh, I really enjoyed it. I hope you guys all have a happy Christmas.
Ashley,
Thanksgiving again.
Ashley, you rock.
Yeah.
Sure, honey. I really appreciate that. I'm going to answer this question. Thank you for calling, babe. All right. So, Debbie asked me a question. I'm thinking, excuse me. Do you think you got lucky or you put in that work? Seems like you don't give yourself enough credit. There was a time, Debbie, that I did not give myself any credit. There was a time in my life where I felt lucky because I got to a certain age. With everything that I've done, sleeping with married women, doing crazy stuff, I should have been not here. And I got to one point in my life to where I was just lucky just to be alive, right? So even though I did crazy stuff, every experience taught me one lesson after the other. It's kind of like trees, and when trees grow, they get the little rings. And if you cut a tree open, a tree has rings in it, right? So for every year, every experience, I got a ring. And so first of all, I was lucky to be the tree, and I was lucky to have the experience. Putting in the work was tough, and there were times where I wanted to say no. I quit. I don't want to do this no more, And so, but now that I'm 45, same age as Marci, and
she said, "I'll be telling
I'm old,
her
you
age."
know that.
Marci, listen.
I'm way older than that.
Marci, 45.
You made that mistake, Marci. I'm just saying.
Her ID is all jacked up. But no, I had to put in a lot of work. It took me a long time to get to where I am now. And it took a lot of prayers. It took a lot of saying, okay, God, I submit. There's nothing else I can do in this case. When I was homeless, when I was sleeping in hotel rooms, when I was sleeping on people's couches, it's above me now. And so I had to get to a point to where I had two choices. I'm either going to fail this thing miserably, or I'm going to walk through it like a champ. I may smell like smoke, you know what I'm saying? But here I am, regardless. So we got to keep fighting. And fellas that are listening across all platforms, and even my audio subscribers and followers, listen to me. Stay out of her inbox if she ain't sent for you. Stay out of there. She didn't call you. You know what I'm saying? I'm women like Ashley and Marci. I'm sure you guys get inboxes all the time. Like, hey, what's going on? Shout it. Stay out of her inbox. Because she tell me about it, I'm coming for you. I'm just saying. All right. Again, I want to thank all of my guests, my callers for calling in today. I really appreciate you. This was the first week we did the whole call-in thing. Hopefully my camera is going to come back on here. There it is. All right. So I want to thank you guys for another episode.
Before we close out right quick, I really want to say and I know I played a little devil's advocate, and y'all know that ain't me, but I really want to put this out. I think it's very important for us men to step up a little bit more and actually help get rid of this double standard. There's more on us men on the double standard side than it really is. And that's my opinion, but I would like for us men to help dissolve this double standard that's really, taking a toll on society nowadays. It's actually making a huge impact.
We can get out of it. We can get out of it if we get out of our pride.
Mm-hmm. We can. We really can.
And that's why I guess it's.
Huh?
I said pride and ego is a whole other show.
Oh, by itself.
It's a couple. That's a couple of seasons of a show.
That is.
Yeah, we can go another 2 hours on that one. But listen, we're gonna get on and get out of here. Thank you guys. I really appreciate you. Everybody,
can I give a shout out real quick?
Go ahead, D. What do you think?
Hey, each and every one of y'all God's gift to the world. Every last one of you. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you. You're God's gift to the world. Here's the thing. It's worthless if you don't open it. If I give you $100 check and you don't cash it, that check is worthless. So take the gift that God put inside of you. Get to know it a little bit. Love on it a lot. And then give it to the world.
Come through here, boy. Go ahead, Kev.
All right, close out comments for me. I can't really follow up at Dwayne actually hit it right on the head. I love it, man. Yeah, that's Mr. Biscuit. Mr. Analogy is what I call him. That's AKA Mr. Analogy. But like I've been learning, self-perseverance, and this is it. Can we please get our young kids, in the right direction to help out with this, in the future as well? Reach one, teach